Welcome to Barefoot Bliss and Devine Wellness. I'm Robin Devine, and I'm excited to share with you our first episode with Megan Barefoot of No Shoes Nutrition, talking all about her wellness journey, Megan's story. I'm excited to hear more. Here we go. Welcome to Barefoot Bliss and Devine Wellness, where we explore the transformative powers of holistic health practices and real-life practicality. I'm Robin Devine, and I'm inviting you on a journey towards radiant well-being and inner harmony. I am so excited that we're doing this podcast together because, Megan, we've known each other for a really long time, but I love hearing about how you started because it's such a unique story. So can you let's educate everybody about why you got into holistic nutrition, because it's such a unique kind of fun journey. So
it is a very convoluted story.
I love it,
would
though.
have to agree with that because I did not start in the health and wellness industry. I started in oil and gas.
I know.
So I was the odd man out when I was going to university. Everyone was like, what are you going to do with that? I went to school for geology, and I lived in Southern Ontario, and people thought I was some kind of crazy woman going to university to learn about rocks. What are you going to do with that? What's your future going to look like?
Yeah.
I'm like, the world is my oyster. We will figure it out, right? And so I came out here to Calgary. In my final year of university, I discovered the oil and gas industry and made it my goal that I was going to move to Calgary, and had no idea how I was going to do that, but found a little conference that one student from each university got to participate in, and that was how I was my key to ticket out here. So I ended up in Calgary, worked in the oil and gas industry as a geologist for about 12 years, met my husband and got married, and it was awesome. And then I had babies and my whole life changed, as most women know it does, right? And it changed for the better. But when my second daughter was born, she was perfect. She was amazing. It was awesome. But the minute we gave her solid food, like I'm talking, Robin, the minute that food went into her mouth, she just stopped working. And of course, the first food as new moms are told to give their babies was a refined, fortified grain. Right? And of course, as a mom, you're looking for all the signs that there's an allergy, and nothing presented as a typical allergy. She didn't have hives, she didn't have a rash on her mouth, she didn't have a rash on her bum. Her mood just changed. I had the most amazing baby. She was very happy. Like, I had her hearing tested because she barely cried, whereas my first baby was colicky and cried all the time. But her guts were inflamed, we learned, and she got that distension in her belly, and she got extremely constipated. And the advice that I was given was to give her a stool softener, which is not dosed for babies, so you gotta have to figure it out. You give her too much, it goes right through her. If you don't give her enough, she's in pain. Mm-hmm. And they told me, as in the doctors we had seen, that it would take about 6 to 8 years and it should work itself out. It's very common.
That sounds like a really fun early childhood.
Right?
Yeah, let's just do that.
I mean, our family was in disarray. Like, we didn't know how many diapers to bring with us if we were leaving the house, if she was gonna be in pain, if we would have to leave a party, a family gathering or whatever. We were always on edge. We just did not know what to expect next, right? And so I took it upon myself. I had a bachelor degree in science. I'm going to do some research. I am going to, as a mom, I'm not getting the answers that I need. I am going to go and see what I can find. And that is when I discovered the microbiome.
Yeah.
And that changed my life. That was exactly the moment where I was like, this is big. This is a thing. Yeah. And somewhere in that research, somewhere in those months of me figuring out how to feed my microbiome, I became obsessed with changing my family's nutrition, getting us healthier, because there's the mind, gut, brain, gut connection, and we were all gonna live forever, we were going to be healthy, we were going to thrive, especially my girls were going to thrive. I was going to make sure I was doing everything I could.
Like geology's fun,
Right?
But this is like gut altering, life kind of changing things.
100%.
Yeah.
It literally was life changing. And had some very, very deep conversations with my husband. He lost like 50, 60 pounds by the changes I was making with our food. And we didn't even realize he needed to lose any weight, right? But apparently when I'm pregnant, he was also gaining weight.
Half the fun.
Right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, we decided that I was going to go back to school and I was going to change my career. And that is when I started doing research on what schools I wanted to do, what profession I wanted to go into, and how I wanted to support other people, because people started to ask questions, right? Like, this is happening. You've lost the weight. Jeff's lost weight. The girls are doing great. Like, what are you doing that's different? But I didn't really feel confident about giving advice. Like, that's not my place. Yeah. So I would tell them a little bit about what we were doing, and that was good, but people were like overwhelmed because I didn't know how to give advice. So I was like, this, doing all of these things. And I just decided that I needed to really figure out how to support people because it was so needed.
Yeah. So aside from like traditional dietitian, nutritionist stuff, you went holistic nutrition.
I did.
So why was that a factor for you?
There was several reasons. The first was, if I wanted to be a registered dietitian, the only school that I could go to for that would have been U of A, which meant I would have had to pick up my family and move to Edmonton, which wasn't an option at that time. The second part was there was a lot of parts of the dietetics education that I was not interested in, and I did not want to spend time, energy, money learning. I wanted to get into real life, make practical nutrition changes, educate people on the why behind what they were doing on their everyday basis, and really hoping to be able to coach them to make those little changes. Change is hard. You know as a health practitioner.
Yeah.
Change is really hard. I wanted to provide that coaching and motivation and accountability and be right one-on-one with my clients or in group settings. So I decided to go to the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition. I went to the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. And then because of my love of the gut, I went and I spoke to a few of the practitioners in my industry that had more gut experience and decided to study with Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride and learn more about the gut and psychology, physiology syndrome and protocol, which blew my mind. And I got to meet her in person. It was like meeting Oprah, and she was phenomenal and just like salt of the earth, and just you could tell genuinely wanted to help people with their guts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so from there, that's where everything kind of changed. That's where you built your own little practice, and everything's been going from there.
So when I first graduated from all of my schooling and was ready to finish up and decide what I was going to do with the rest of my life, that was really when I started to go and have job interviews and could not find myself going back to work under someone else, because I had this idea in my head of how I wanted to work with clients.
Yeah.
And if I was working in someone else's clinic, if I was working under someone else's umbrella, they had ideas of what they wanted from a nutrition consultant. And so that is when I decided to start No Shoes Nutrition.
Yeah. Because traditional ways of looking at nutrition, traditional ways of looking at how a dietitian works in a multidisciplinary practice is totally not how you are as a practitioner, which is why we get along as well as we do, because it's not about trying to fit in and mold into what other people want. It's also about staying true to your authentic self and how you bring things to your patients and how you contribute in your own unique way, and honoring that, which is what you do so wonderfully. And so I think that's kind of why we became as besties as we have been, is because we both do that in our own way, right?
Absolutely.
So when people want to find a way to learn more about you and sort of your journey and your practice, what is the best ways for them to be able to do that?
They can find me on my website, which is noshoesnutrition.com.
Yeah.
And I prefer emails. So I 100% would love people to email me, Megan, MEGAN, at noshoesnutrition.com. I have on my website, you can just message right from my website and sign up for free consultations. It's complimentary, no charge. We sit down for a half an hour and we just discuss what's going on. I'll give you some tips and tricks right in that half hour, and we will get you started on a journey to wellness with nutrition.
And that's the thing, is that it has to start somewhere. And that's what I love, is that it's not like a pre-made package. It's like each individual person is so unique. And when you start your journey, that's what you need. You don't need a cookie cutter sort of solution. You need for somebody to break it down the way that it does. And you do that amazingly.
Oh, thank you.
So that's probably the best part. And again, that's why we're able to do what we do together. And that's also the reason why I love that we're doing this podcast together. So it's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Robin.
Thank you.
So now you know a little bit more about my journey. Next episode, you'll get to learn about Robin Devine's journey to health. See you next time on Barefoot Bliss and Devine Wellness.
Thank you for joining us on Barefoot Bliss and Devine Wellness, where we've uncovered the path to a vibrant, holistic life. Until next time, may you continue to walk the journey of wellness with grace and intuition, a grounded and natural approach on a journey towards wellness and vitality.